Welcome to the Scroll Ensemble Classical Music Improvisation channel. This is our first video in a series celebrating improvisers from the past. Organist, improviser and composer Rolande Falcinelli was born on February 18 in 1920 in Paris. She became one of Marcel Dupré's star pupils. Dupré was one of the leading improvisers of the 20th century and wrote a complete course in organ improvisation which is still widely accessible. Falcinelli succeeded Dupré as organ and improvisation teacher in 1955 at the famous Paris Conservatoire and was responsible for a host of distinguished pupils. We loved reading some of her thoughts on improvisation from an interview with Jean Gallard, which I'd like to share with you today. An organist should be capable of developing all types of improvisation, whether in a classical style using forms inherited from the great composers, or a free approach using contemporary harmony and perhaps inspired by literary texts or abstract ideas from pictorial art. Although the art of improvisation takes place at the keyboard, it requires an approach that is just as disciplined as the study of written harmony and counterpoint. One cannot improvise if one is not fluent in writing. Counterpoint, fugue, composition and orchestration are necessities even if one is not a composer. Improvisation and composition are like two branches of the same tree. Intellect and intuition must always find a balance in all areas of art. I often think of the wise words of my professor in fugal studies. Reason must control instinct, which must in its turn control reason. Improvisation expresses with an absolute truth one's emotional and psychological condition, and so even in a fugue. In composition, one can sometimes dry up, or as Marcel Dupré remarked, one's nose meets a wall. But on another day everything is easy. In improvisation, on some days nothing seems to work, perhaps on account of the theme, the atmosphere of the concert, or simply one's own state of mind. The professional aspect, of course, plays its part, meaning there will still be a good improvisation, but the audience senses that something was not quite right. These things happen too quickly to analyze. Generally, the character of a piece suggests itself immediately, and the harmonic style is dependent on that character. The consciousness intuitively perceives the inherent expressive possibilities of a theme, and the form usually follows from the structure and aesthetic of the theme. This orientation, which is the result of much study and practice, takes place very quickly. Some themes can go right to the heart, while others leave one cold. Irrespective of this, it is a case of musical craftsmanship that is needed to make the connection. One often improvises more difficult pieces than one is capable of playing. By which I wanted to say that if one had to practice an extract of what one has come to improvise, it would demand months of practice. Also, in order to be completely free in one's improvisations, one must work hard continuously with one's playing technique. Progress is immediately obvious. A strict control of the improvised work is important. This control covers two complementary moments. Firstly, the use of written disciplines to encourage awareness of the inherent expressive possibilities in musical forms. And secondly, playing techniques need to be constantly honed so that one can actually play what one improvises. We will always be faced with an extremely malleable and plastic medium. That's the danger, and it's also the charm, which is the improbable, which will never end, but will always be an intimate and immediate form of expression, one which cannot lie. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for a myriad of improvisation-related videos, and for more, support us on Patreon.